Has feelings for you, but for some reason they just won't say it out loud. One minute they're cold, distant, almost indifferent, and the next they're warm, present, almost vulnerable. It's confusing, it's frustrating. And if you've ever found yourself lying in bed, replaying a moment in your head, wondering what they meant by that text, that glance, that silence, you're not alone. Here's the truth. When someone is issuing their feelings, especially romantic ones, they may not say "I too tried," but psychology shows us they can't hide the signs forever. Because no matter how much we try to suppress emotion, it leaks out in glances, in gestures, in tone, and hesitation. So, in today's video, we'll explore 6 tiny but incredibly powerful signs that someone is secretly fighting their feelings for you. Each one is subtle. Each one is easy to miss unless you know exactly what to look for. So, let's begin why people hide their feelings before we jump into the signs. It's important to understand why someone would fight their emotions in the first place. You see, for many people, especially those with a history of heartbreak, rejection, or emotional trauma, expressing feelings openly can feel risky. Too risky. They're afraid of being vulnerable. Afraid of what might happen if they let their guard down. Afraid you won't feel the same. So instead, they suppress. But that suppression doesn't erase the emotion. It just redirects it. And that's when body, behavior, and subconscious start leaking signs they never meant. Let's break them down. Starting with the eyes. Sign number 1, they avoid eye contact or hold it too long. One of the first telltale signs lives in their eyes. Have you noticed that this person either completely avoids looking directly at you, or when they do lock eyes with you, they hold that gaze just a bit too long? This isn't random. It's because they're in a state of internal conflict, torn between a desire to connect and a fear of being seen too deeply. Psychology research shows that when someone is battling suppressed emotion, they typically exhibit one-off behaviors. They avoid eye contact because looking at you might bring those feelings too close to the surface. Or they overcompensate, staring too long as if hoping you'll read their soul and somehow say what they're too afraid to say. A classic example, you're in a conversation, you glance at them, and they immediately look away. Or they look at you and neither of you breaks eye contact. It lasts just a little too long. You both feel it. It's not awkward, it's charged. That lingering look is a subconscious sign of emotional action. Even if their words are guarded, their eyes are screaming something else entirely. So next time you notice this kind of eye behavior, don't brush it off. It might be the only way they're allowing themselves to be honest. What you can do if you want to gently test what's behind their gaze. Try this. Next time they look at you, hold it for just a second, then smile subtly, softly. If they return that smile, or seem visibly affected, you're no longer guessing. You're witnessing a connection they can't verbalize yet. Sign number 2, they tease you more than others. Now, let's talk about teasing. One of the oldest disguises for affection. When someone is secretly into you but doesn't feel ready to say it. They often express their connection in a sideways way through playful teasing. This could be light sarcasm, silly nicknames, mock disagreements, exaggerated critiques of your outfit, your music taste, your coffee order. Butter's the key. They don't deceive you like this. They reserve it just for you. Why? Because teasing allows forklessness without vulnerability. It creates an emotional playground where they can get near you without the fear of exposing themselves. Think of it as a modern, emotionally complex version of pulling your pigtails on the schoolyard. It says, I want to be close to you. Beauty, I'm not ready to admit why. Psychological reasoning behind it. According to psychologists, teasing acts as a social probe, a way to test boundaries, observe reactions, and explore emotional intimacy in a low-risk way. It's like flirting's quieter cousin, less obvious, more layered. So next time they give you a hard time in a way that feels different from how they joke with others, pay attention. They're revealing more than they intend to. Sign number 3, they get jealous over small things. Jealousy, it's one of the loudest emotions people try to silence, especially when they're fighting. Hidden feelings, when someone secretly likes you but is trying to hide it. Jealousy will still slip through the cracks. It may not show up as anger or confrontation. No, it's far more subtle than that. Let's say you casually mention another person in your life. It could be someone you're talking to, someone you admire, even a harmless coworker or friend. Watch what happens next. Do they suddenly go quiet? Do they downplay the person you mentioned, brushing it off with a casual, "oh, fat guy"? Do they make weirdly dismissive or sarcastic remarks that don't quite match? Mood? That's not disinterest, that's guarded jealousy. Their subconscious is reacting even if their words aren't. The psychology of hidden jealousy. Psychologically, jealousy arises from apperceived threat to emotional connection. When someone is secretly attracted to you, even small signals that you may be emotionally invested elsewhere activate their protective instincts. But because they're hiding their feelings, they won't admit it. Instead, it leaks out sideways. They might ask who you were with in a tone that's just curious, but the eyes say more. They might start comparing themselves to the other person without being obvious. They may even throw in a passive-aggressive joke. Something like, "Guess I'm not smart enough for your new intellectual friend?" It's their way of saying, "I want to be the one you admire, but I can't say it out loud." What to do when you notice this? Don't call it out directly. That could embarrass them or trigger defensiveness. Instead, trithis. Offer reassurance casually. Mention something you like about them without making it a big deal. Keep the mood playful. Respond to their sarcasm with warmth instead of shutting it down. If you feel the same way, give them space to feel safe enough to step forward. Jealousy is painful, not because they don't trust you, but because they're afraid their feelings aren't returned, and nothing hurts more than wanting someone silently and feeling like they don't see it. Sign number 4, they remember the little things. Now, this one is a huge giveaway, especially for someone who's pretending not to care. You mentioned something once, maybe weeks ago. Your favorite coffee, a random movie you like, a childhood memory. You barely remember saying it, but then out of nowhere they bring it up. Not just vaguely, they remember it exactly as if it mattered because to them it did. Why this happens? Emotional cataloging. When someone is emotionally invested, even in secret, their mind starts cataloging information about you. It's unconscious. It's automatic. You might mention, "I love my coffee with a dash of cinnamon. I've always wanted to visit Iceland." "I hate Tuesdays," long story, and weeks later they say, "I got you cinnamon." I remembered. I saw this documentary about Iceland and thought, oh phew. Tuesdays still suck, huh? And that's when it hits you. They've been paying attention the whole time. Because emotional attraction isn't just about longing. It's about noticing the science behind it. Research in emotional cognition shows that when someone is romantically drawn to a person, their brain prioritizes and stores real memories more efficiently. That means even if they're not consciously replaying your conversations, their brain flags them as important. It's like mental bookmarking. They don't do this with everyone. They do it with you, because on some level, their heart is already attached. The kinds of details they might remember. Your birthday, even if you only mentioned it once. The kind-of music you love when you're stressed. A random quote you said that made them laugh. That one time you mentioned childhood pet and they ask about it later. These are not accidents. These are signs of emotional investment disguised as casual recall. Sign number 5, their body language betrays them. You know what never lies? The body. Even when someone is trained to keep their feelings locked up tight, their body language often whispers the truth in ways they don't even realize. So how do you spot it? Watch for the subtle subconscious cues. Do they lean in when talking to you, even when they didn't need to? Do they mirror your movements, adjusting their posture when you do, gesturing in sync with your rhythm? Do they seem to fidget around you, playing with their hands, adjusting their clothes, touching their hair, or tapping their feet? These aren't random habits. These are physical expressions of emotional energy that has no other rootlet. What psychology tells us? Research in nonverbal communication suggests that when someone is suppressing romantic feelings, their autonomic nervous system still responds, increasing physical tension, restlessness, and a heightened desire to close space. In simple terms, their body is trying to connect with you, even if their words are pulling away. Watch for these subtle signals. Draw the angle, their body toward you when sitting or standing nearby. Do their feet point toward you even if they're talking to someone else? When you shift your position, do they slowly follow Evan without thinking? That's because we subconsciously orient ourselves toward people we're drawn to both emotionally and physically. It's instinct, it's unconscious, it's real. So even if they say, I'm not interested, but they're sitting forward, arms uncrossed, feet facing you, their body is saying something else. And you should believe body more than the words. Sign number 6, they run hot and cold. Now this one hurts the most. One day, they're all in, texting you, laughing with you, initiating deep, soulful conversations that make you feel like maybe this is something real. And then suddenly they go cold. They become distant, vague. They take hours or days to respond. They act like the connection never happened, and it leaves you wondering, did I imagine everything? No, you didn't. This push-pull dynamic is a classic sign of emotional resistance. They feel something deep for you, maybe more than they felt in a long time, but they are scared. Scared of getting hurt again, losing control, being rejected, or what this connection might demand off them emotionally. So they do the online thing they can, they pull away. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much and it terrifies them. What hot and cold behavior looks like. They send a flirty message, then a reply for hours. They open up emotionally, then avoid you the next day. They make plans, then cancel last minute with a vague excuse. They look at you like you're everything, and latter act like you're a stranger. And that roller coaster of closeness and distance, it's not a game. It's not manipulation. It's a person torn between what they feel and what they fear. How to respond when you notice these signs. If you're recognizing these 6 signs in someone, it likely means they're emotionally conflict, caught in a battle between desire and defense. So what should you do? 1. Be patient, but not passive. Give them emotional space, but don't disappear completely. Your consistent, calm presence is often what gives them courage to open up. Mirror their vulnerability gently. If they show you a little emotion, offer a little of your own in return. This creates emotional safety without pressure. 3. Don't push, don't pry. The more you force a clarity, the more they may shut down. Instead, invite honesty by being steady, kind, and emotionally grounded. And if you're feeling bold, you can even say something like, I get the feeling you're holding something back. You didn't have to explain. I just want you to know it's safe here. Sometimes that's all it takes. So, have you noticed any of these signs in someone around you? Maybe it's someone who always looks at you just a little too long, or someone new who jokes with you in a way they don't with anyone else. Someone who remembers the tiniest things about you, even when they pretend not to carry. If so, there's a good chance there. Wrestling with something real. But remember, hidden feelings can stem from many things. Past heartbreak, fear of rejection, emotional confusion. It's not your job to fix them. But if you care, truly care, then maybe you're calm. Steady light can help them step out of their shadow. And who knows, maybe they're not trying to push you away. Maybe they're just waiting for Ariason to stop fighting what they already feel. If you found this video useful, help spread the truth by leaving a comment. Have you seen these signs in someone before, liking this video? It supports our message. And subscribing for more psychology-backed dives into love, emotion, and connection only on Dark Psychology. Thank you for watching. I'm Amelia, and remember, even the quietest heart eventually finds its voice if someone's willing to listen.